Welcome back to DIY Willy. Today we've got the 2012 Nissan Frontier. You guys have seen this truck in several of my videos. Today we had to do some stereo repairs. Some of the features of the radio were grayed out. It comes from the parking brake lockout. There's a way around that. It's not recommended, but there is a way to clear that up with a parking brake bypass. I'll leave a link in the description of the one that I bought. So let's take a look at what I've done so far. The first thing we did was get to the radio to fix the parking brake bypass. They had used some type of relay to enable that parking brake bypass, and I don't know if maybe the relay failed, which is a good possibility, but it just quit working altogether. So I took it out and I bought a ALP BB trigger interface, and they work really well. Like I said, I'll leave a link in the description for that part, and let me show you what I've done so far. So when you go to plug the amp wires into the back of the radio, now this is an aftermarket Alpine radio, okay? This is not a factory radio. There's this cover that's up here like this, and I just use a trim release tool to pry up on the cover in a few spots, and it lifts out. Then there are 3 Phillips head screws, one here in the middle and one for the mount, the stereo mount right there. And once you get that, you just give it a yank like this and it'll pull down. Now you've got wires attached to it, so you don't want to pull too hard. And anytime I've got a little bit ahead of myself. Anytime you're going to mess with any of the electronics on the vehicle, always disconnect the negative side of the battery, place it out of the way to make sure it doesn't make connection again. Once you have everything installed, this wiring is kind of a mess. I fixed a couple things on here. This is the parking brake bypass. It's wired into the yellow and blue parking brake wire of the radio. It's also wired to the ground and to the amp remote turn on right here. So yeah, that's all done. That I should have made a video about that, but I didn't. I just left it like that. So you've got your cables coming up for your amp, and they plug into, this is marked very clearly, the subwoofer out of the radio, and you just plug those 2 in, and you've got that connection. Then you've got the blue wire, this blue wire down here. I fed it up through the dash along with the RCAs, and it's also tied into the amp turn on wire of the radio right here. That's all the connections you need to do to the back of the radio on an aftermarket radio. All right, let's take a look here at the subwoofer and the amp kit. We picked this up from Metra. It's an amp install kit for 500, rated for 500 watts. This amp claims to be 800 watts peak power, so we'll be fine with 500 watts. Usually it's best if you have a little overkill on wiring, but in this situation we'll be okay. So this is the Rockville low profile, 10-inch low profile active subwoofer, model RW10CA. It's pretty nice. We've used it before in another vehicle. Then it comes with some accessories to mount it. We've got the subwoofer level knob right there. We've got the wire to wire in the subwoofer level knob. Here's the amp. Package pretty nice. You can get it out of here using one hand. So here's the front of it. You got your power connections, your fuse. This is your high input if you were tapping your speakers to provide an input for the amp. This is your low output, your RCAs if you have a low output. This is preferably the way to go. You get less noise or popping that way. This is where the subwoofer level knob will plug in right there. It's kind of like a phone jack type connection. These three are for your amp adjustment and levels and crossover frequencies. You've got your phase and in or out, up or down this way. If it works backwards or forwards, whatever, the phase is there. And then of course your amp auto turn on and turn off. We'd probably want that on. In the box, we've got some instructions on how to tune it, how to adjust it, and of course how to wire it. Talks about the different ways of doing it. We have watch this video before first use. Probably give you scan the QR code. Probably gives you some adjusting tips. Registration card for the product warranty. Yeah, well, that's all. I say we get going. So this truck is a crew cab, and there's not a lot of room back here, and as you can see, the owner stores a lot of stuff, so it wouldn't be good. Normally we could just leave the amp on the floor right here where the seat would be over the top of it if it were a crew cab, or we can mount it to the back wall if it was a regular cab. But being an extended cab like this, he's got a lot of stuff back there, and he's constantly putting things in and out, so we don't want to put this up right there. So where we're going to put it is underneath the passenger seat. Now, to get the seat out, you have 14mm bolts, 4 of them, on each corner of the seat. This one you can just take the trim removal or a small screwdriver and pop that cover off, the bolt's inside. The same with the back right here, just top that cover off and there's the bolt. And then of course on the other side that you can't see right now. Now this seat's already unbolted, as you see, and we need to talk about some very important things. This wire harness right here is for the seat detector sensor and for your airbag and your airbag wire. Now all your airbag stuff that it connects to the airbag will be yellow like this, and these sensor wires are just white. And the sensor wires, you just push down on this little thing right here and it pops right out. The airbag, it has this little clip here that you slide down like that. Slide it down and it pops out. Now before you mess with any of the wiring that goes to the airbag system, make sure the battery is disconnected. You don't want to actually set the airbag off by quickly shorting something or causing a problem. Always disconnect the battery so you get to the airbag still. All right, let me lift this seat out of here and we'll get to what's underneath. All right, so I've got the seat out and I've got the amp and sub set in here. Now this thing, when the seat is here, it actually rubs here on the top. I've already fit it and tried it. This is really the best place for it. When the seat is on here, this thing will not move. I don't see any reason to try to mount it in the corners, the brackets it comes with. It's honestly it's not going to work. So going like this and just letting the seat apply just a gentle amount of pressure right here will hold it in place, and it won't affect the function of the subwoofer. That puts all the controls towards the back right here, where the seat will be like here, and you can get in here and do the adjustments if necessary. The wire harness for the airbags is still accessible to plug back in. That's a good spot to put it, right there, just like that. So excuse the sun's behind me. You're gonna get shadows now and then, but that's okay. So as I showed you before, I've already got the amp turn on wire ran, and I've got the RCA jacks that plug in. We'll get them under the carpet and ran all the way back, come up back here somewhere to plug in here. But we need to run the power wire to the battery and find a ground back here that's solid, a good ground. So let me do that and I'll show you what I did. Okay, taking a look, if you remember, I had the wires coming down all piled up right here. I went ahead and put them behind the carpet. I ran them under, picked up the carpet, reached my arm in through, pulled them out this way. I ran the power wires. There's a vent right here. I don't know if you can see it. There's a vent tube right there, and I ran the power wire along this side, and I ran the speaker RCA up this side of the vent tube. You always want to try to keep those as far away as you can from each other. You don't want the RCAs to get too close to the power wires. You can get a little bit of feedback from it. So So I've got them all pulled up. I've got, like I said, there's the vent right here. I've got the speaker wire coming that way, or the preamp wire, the RCA's coming this way. And I've got all my power wires on this side, grouped together, already stripped, ready to install. I used an existing body ground right here to ground out the amp. Should be fine. There was a hole here already, a hole like this. Right here, I just pulled it out, stuck the grommet that comes with the wiring kit in it, and I put some silicone around it to help seal it, much like I did over there, but I haven't put any tape yet. I'll put some tape in a minute. I've got the power ready. I need to clean up, need to vacuum a little bit, but it's ready to plug in. I've got my RCA's here and my amp turn on, or my amp level control right here, the sub. And I'll roll this up and tuck this underneath because it's pretty long. I don't need it this long. We'll get it to be about the same. And like I said, we're just going to set it here because with the seat on it, the pressure holds it down. I might put a washer or two underneath the seat right here at each 4 bolts to lift the seat just a little bit to give it that little extra clearance under here. But yeah, we're coming along. We're getting there. We're about ready to mount it permanent. I've got all the connections made now. I've got the RCA's plugged in. Really doesn't matter. There's a white and a red, but I mean, this is a mono system, so you're just taking right and left. I put the red in the red and the black in the white. Doesn't really matter. I've got the amp level knob right here off to the side. I'm just going to leave it here until I find out where the owner wants it put. For now, it'll be fine right there. And I've got the power and remote and ground all connected. So we're ready to put the seat back in so that we can connect the wires here. I may not bolt it down yet, but I do want the wires connected before I plug the battery back in. And I want to test the system. So I need to get this done, put the seat in, get the wires connected, and make the connections at the battery. We'll do that next. All right, so now we've got to make the battery connection with the fuse. So find a nice spot here. We'll cut the wire. I should have done this before I ran the wire, but oh well. I'm just going to cut it right here. Got to strip it back a little bit. About a 1/2 inch is good. Just kind of work your way around it. Like that. You can pull it back. You can see where you need to cut. And just pull it off. Give it a little twist as you're pulling. There. Now we have our connection for this side. I'm gonna go make up this side real fast. Now when you go to put these together, you always want to make sure you get this slipped on first. So we'll put this part of the fuse on. And we'll slip this side on. This is what's going to make a nice watertight seal on it. Make sure the wires are still good. Now I like to take a little bit of aluminum foil. I was showed this trick a few years back by another person, just to help hold the wires in place when you squeeze them down. You can put it on here like this, wrap it around nice and tight like that, and then when you put it inside and you tighten it down with your number 3mm Allen wrench, those wires will stay together. It won't separate. Just like that. See that? Now, there we go. Now we just do the same for this side. Remember, put this on, put the little seal piece on. And I'll get my little piece of aluminum foil. And wrap these wires up. And we'll carefully take the 3mm screw out, like so. Center home. Okay, now we can tighten this up. And our battery connections are made. Well, the fuse is together anyway. Just push this together, just thread it in like that. And I'm just going to tuck it in here like this for now. Now, we just need to tap the battery. I'm going to tap it right here. Let me get that wrench. We're going to move this one over too. Make sure everything's tight. Tighten this one up again. I think it's going to work a much better of a load over here than by this fuse. Make sure the wire's kind of out of the way. Now we can make our connection to the ground. No boom, right? No. This one's a 10mm on this side. We'll just tighten it up. There we go. Now we've got our battery connections made. We'll close the hood and okay, so before we try everything, I've got this set to auto on. I've got this set to 0 phase. I've checked each one of my gain right here that I'm set kind of in the middle. So I went one way all the way, the other way all the way, and to the middle like that. I did all of them that way. Make sure they're set towards the middle. Fuse is in. We're ready to turn it on. All right, so let's turn the system on. Turn the key. Good so far. Here we come. Now, since the battery's been disconnected for a while, we'll have to go through the initial setup of the stereo. Man, look at the dust in here. A lot of dust. Yes, we want English. Oi! There we go. I need to put it on a DIY Willy or something. Let me Bluetooth in and go to Bluetooth. No, not the Willy either. Let me see. Let me find a video, something we can listen to. I wasn't prepared, guys. All right, today's a good day. I've been waiting for this day for a long time. Get to where the music is, Willy. Come on. There we go. Let's go into setup, sound. Let's see, subwoofer on. Good.
Hi
Oh.
there. Welcome back.
Why do I keep doing that? All right, today's a good day. I've been waiting for this day for a long time. I feel the subwoofer under the seat. Let's see the crossover frequencies. Where are we at? Channel. Sub. That's pretty good. Yeah. I think that was successful. The subwoofer sounds good. I just need to find some more music to listen to. I wish we could play the music from the radio, but it works. Let's see. Let's search music. No, it's got to be royalty-free music. Royalty-free music. This doesn't really test the subwoofer yet, but sounds pretty good. There we go. We've got the levels here. We can turn it down. We can turn it up. We'll put it about halfway. I think everything works really good. I wish you could feel the vibration on the seat. It rocks the seat. I'll probably put some double back tape and put that just like that. All installed. And I wish I could find some better music. Got some jazz. Kind of hard to hear the subwoofer though. Where's that static coming from? sounds good. I like this subwoofer. It'll work perfect right there. I'll just go ahead and bolt the seat back in permanent and call it a day. So that worked. I wish I had a better way of showing it on the camera for you all here on the channel for this video, but it works. It sounds really good. We're gonna upgrade the 6x9s and the 6.5s in the back next, and yeah, I think together it's really gonna sound good in here. The radio fix worked. The radio's working like it should now. It's got no more grayed out features, and it's time to put this thing back together. All right, thanks for coming and checking out the channel, checking out this video, and for all your Nissan Frontier needs, hey, come back to DIY Willy. I've got a few videos going on with these trucks. Yeah, thanks for stopping by, and subscribe if you haven't already. Give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.